Hiya, welcome everybody to Latif's Inspired. Today I'm going to be doing something really authentic, and it's quite basic, but it's a very popular dish in Indian restaurants. But I'm going to do it the authentic way, how we would have at home. So it's not going to be in the restaurant ways, full of butter, full of cream, full of sugar. As you know, when this is an authentic Indian Bangladeshi style dish, so when this was cooked, it's not always had lots of cream, lots of butter, but obviously we use pure ghee. But this is going to be, I'm going to be using yogurt to build up the richness and the natural sweetness of the ingredients like the onions and so on. That's going to bring the sweetness and the ginger, and I'm going to use some really fragrant garam masalas like the cinnamon sticks, the bay leaf, which brings out a nice fragrant, a little pungent sort of spice to it. And Paul Dobson, if you're watching, there you go. I've actually got my chef jacket on today with the name on it, so hopefully you'll be happy about that. I'm going to crack on, guys. Chicken korma, an authentic, how we have it at our homes. So chicken korma, guys. This is the onion. I just chopped it up, diced it up. The garlic and the ginger, so that all goes in. This is essential, guys. You need to blitz it up. I've got about half a cup of water, and then just blitz it. When you're blending this, you have to get it to a right thin consistency, so everything's mushed up properly. So make sure you use the pulse. This mix is perfectly done. Right, so I've got my cast iron dish. Now I've got it on sort of medium high heat. I'm going to use the oil and the ghee. That sounds like it's nice and hot. So the cardamom pods, I've just slightly cracked them. So they've gone in. The cinnamon sticks, they're gone in. And the bay leaf, they go in. Now all you're doing is just heating it up in the oil. So when it's in the oil, it just livens up. Now that's a blended mixture of the onions, garlic and ginger. As you can see, the oil is very, very hot. So it's spitting out. If it burns my face, it's okay, but if it's someone beautiful and pretty and gorgeous, you don't want it to spit at your face. There you go. So now all I'm going to do is just basically, I want the rawness of the onions to go, and obviously the smell of the ginger and garlic. You want a nice cooked sort of smell. So this takes about a good 5-10 minutes. I actually forgot to mention some salt on the ingredient. I'm sure my lovely editor, he and she will put that on. So that's going to be 1 teaspoon of salt. I normally go by, if I'm cooking 1 kg of chicken or meat, I normally use about 1 teaspoon to 1.5 teaspoon heat of salt. This one I'm using 1 because I don't need too much salt. So it's going to have sweetness, and the flavors that they call the umami is going to be beautiful because you got the sugar, which brings out the sweetness, and you got the salt, which brings out the savouriness. So it's going to be gorgeous. It's spitting, guys, so make sure you have a lid and just cook it down a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back to it because I don't want the onions to stick onto the bottom of the pan. So that's why obviously we check it every few minutes. Right, it's been about 5 minutes, and it's sort of, as you can see, it's the caramelization has hit the bottom of the pan. And luckily, I've been nattering away and I forgot about it. So there you go. This is the separation of the ingredients and the oil. So this is what I've been looking for, guys. And there's one person who's actually been commenting on how many times this guy says guys. I don't know why I use it, but it's just natural. So I tell you what, you guys. Oh. Right. I did say 5 to 10 minutes at the beginning, and I'm quite fortunate. It's been 5 minutes, and I've got to how I wanted it. There you go. Now I'm ready for the next ingredients, which are the spices. So you'll have it on the description box, and also I did mention it at the beginning. So the spices went in, give it a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to add the yogurt, and yogurt curdles up, guys, because it's nice and cold, and that's the ingredients are hot and the oil. So give it a nice little mixture, make it liquidified, and obviously this is more healthier than cream, so I would highly recommend this, and this is very traditional. Some people use a bit of milk, but yogurt is the good stuff, and I love it. And this also brings out, marries up all the flavours. There you go. Give it a nice mix. And this is going to release a bit of liquid, so my spices aren't going to burn. I put the heat to sort of medium low. It was on medium high before, and now I'm going to cook this for another 5 minutes. I always check up on it every 3 minutes or so. So there you go. It's been about 10 minutes cooking process, and I'm going to let the spices cook for another 5 minutes before the next process.
Action.
It's been a further 5 minutes since I put the spices in, and wow, look at this. The oil is separating from all the spices. This is what I wanted. Beautiful. This is absolutely gorgeous, and I swear to God, this is that fragrance and the smells is amazing. Beautiful. Right. Now for the main ingredient, the boss. The chicken goes in. There you go. Now I'm not going to add any water to this because the chicken is going to release some water. If I believe that's enough water, liquidized form, then basically I'll keep it as it is. But if I want it to be a bit more saucy, then I would add a bit of water. But if you want to make it more rich, instead of water you can use cream. But if you want to keep it authentic, how I'm showing you, use water, guys. So the chicken's gone in. I'll check it about a few minutes later, but this is going to need about 10-15 minutes cooking. So I'm going to put the gas up to medium high. There you go. And that should cook for about another 5 minutes, and I'll check up on it every few minutes. I mean, look at this. That caramelization of the chicken, that's caught on the bottom of the pan, but that's coming out beautifully. And this chicken literally takes about 10-15 minutes to cook. So look at this, guys. There you go. Now this is almost cooked chicken. I'm going to go to the next process now. Right, the chicken's caramelized nicely. The water has released, but again, it's not enough water. So I've got about a cup of water over here. I think that's perfectly fine. It's not covered all the chicken, but there's enough moisture here. Because you want it to have a natural thickness to the sauce. So the water's gone in there. I'm going to let that come to a bubbling point, and then I'm going to add the next ingredients. There you go, guys. I'll put the water in. It's bubbling away. This is beautiful. It's looking absolutely gorgeous. Right, this is the main ingredients. This is going to lift it. There you go. Now, this you add it sort of towards the end, because if you added it before, sometimes it sticks to the bottom of the pan, and the raisins, you just need to add, it just needs to loosen up, and just 5 minutes towards the end is sort of There you go, so that's been added in. I'm adding the green peppers. This is something that I do basically. And I'm also going to add the green chillies. Now what I do, guys, over here, I just take the tip off so it stays whole, it looks nice, and the spices release itself. So there you go. All I want is, I want these to keep its shape and basically bring out the flavors. And this is literally going to take about 5 minutes or so. Now, you can add a bit more water if you wish at this point, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it, because I've added about a cup of water, and I'm going to let this cook for 10 minutes in a sort of medium-low heat, and I'll check it up in about 5 minutes. There you go, and the cooking process so far has just been about 20 minutes so far. Right, it's been 5 minutes, and the little bubbles are sort of coming. So I'm just giving this a mix. Obviously I don't want it to stick to the bottom. There you go. And this is smelling beautiful. There you go. So literally this dish takes about half an hour, 40 minutes to do. So if you're cooking up for the kids and the family, not very long whatsoever, and you'll have this gourmet style Indian Bangladeshi dish. So there you go, 5 more minutes and I'll check it out. Right, this sounds good, it looks good, and I always refer to curries like this. When you see it look like sort of custard consistency and you see these little bubbles coming up, you know it's done. I know the chicken's been done. And there you go. My peppers and everything have just softened up how I wanted. And it's ready, guys. So turn it off. I'm going to plate up shortly. Right, that was a chicken korma, guys, the proper traditional home style chicken korma, how we would have it at home, Bangladeshi style. Now, there's one ingredient which I didn't put in. It would have been the boiled eggs. Chicken korma and boiled eggs always goes hand to hand, and that's how we normally have it at home. If you want to have it, just boil some eggs and put it in after you put the chicken in. But I made it really nice and simple for you guys to follow at home. So that was a chicken korma. And remember, if you liked what you've seen, you liked all the tips and you found it helpful, useful, make sure don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And don't forget to join me on my Facebook page, Latif's Inspired, as well as my Instagram. After this video, I want loads of new followers. So thank you very much and see you soon.